Welcome back. Today we're going to continue talking about open source intelligence, and I'm going to show you a couple of more tools. But before doing anything, I need to make some changes to this configuration file because I want to redirect all my internet traffic through Tor browser so I can be anonymous for the purpose of this simulated pen test. These two lines you should add at the end of this file redirect all traffic to Tor browser on port 9050. That done, we need to start Tor browser and start working. It looks like I don't have Tor browser installed on this virtual machine, and I'm not able to install it from command line. That's not good either. Looks like I don't have another choice. I need to download it from the website. So I'm gonna uncompress the file I already downloaded here. It's in the downloads folder. Okay. At this point we should be able to launch Tor browser and make it work. So I need to cd into this folder. But actually we can run it from root user, and that's something I showed you on purpose just to make you aware of this. So I actually switched to a different user I created before, and so I'm now able to launch Tor browser successfully. Okay, the guy is up. Good. First tool I want to show you here is Maltego. Maltego is a very powerful tool. Here I'm using the community version, but you should be encouraged to buy a professional license if you want to use it for professional purposes. Anyway, the community edition will do for our limited scope here. Okay, usually I choose run a machine, but in this case I'm going to choose a blank graph just to show you the basics. Okay, you'll see on the left a series of entities we can use and we can drag to our graph. So I'm going to start by dragging a domain. It can actually be a little slow. It uses a bunch of RAM. Here we can change the name of the domain we want to use. I'm going to use nmap.org for the purposes of this tutorial. And the first transforms we want to use is the one allowing us to find any websites associated to this domain. And we find www.mmap.org. At this point we can see what kind of technology runs on that specific website by using this particular transform here. It's very similar to Netcraft if you know the website. we see that mmap.org runs a series of tools like Google AdSense and especially Apache 2.4 and CentOS. That already gives us a series of useful indications for us to find vulnerabilities that might affect the specific website. Another thing we could be interested in finding is if any email addresses associated to this website. Here I'm only able to retrieve one hostmaster.mmap.org, so I can find a different transform for this purpose. We can also try and find additional domain names with another transform here. And we find, in fact, alternative domains associated to mmap.org. Anyway, now we have additional email addresses, but not all of them look actually existing in fact, I'm going to use a transform to verify if any of that isn't good. By using this one, and you see that name.website.com is non-existing. In fact, it's a sort of a template, it's not a real email address. And that was pretty obvious. I mean, of course, I'm barely scratching the surface. Maltego is much more powerful than that. Anyway, we can also find additional domains, so we see mmap.net, mmap.nl for the Netherlands, and so on and so forth. All connected to mmap.org. Okay, now I want to show you another tool, but first of all I need to connect back to the Tor browser because this virtual machine got stuck and I had to reboot it. Let's make sure anyway our IP address looks different from our real one, and I'm gonna check it through a website. Okay, that's not my real one, so I'm good to go. The second tool I wanted to show you here is Shodan. Shodan is a very powerful search engine that can show you something like unprotected webcams in industrial facilities or weakly protected webcams that... Okay, I need to log into my account here, sorry about that. Anyway, I wanted to be anonymous for this reason because these are industrial facilities. And we see that we were able to actually pop into this webcam without even being asked for any credentials whatsoever. So it looks like this is something valuable I don't really know what the stuff is about here. We have several webcams we can view. This doesn't seem to work, honestly. I don't really know what this is about. Looks like out of focus. But here it starts becoming pretty interesting. You see that's a location of some sort. I don't know if it's an industrial facility or a household. And here we can see something like a front door or something like that. So we might be able to pop this stuff into Google Maps or something like that and obtain latitude and longitude locations if we try something like that. So that's pretty scary, right? Of course, we were lucky, but sometimes we need to log in with username and password. The fact is, most times people don't change default credentials, so they use something like admin and password, and that's pretty easy to crack and it's pretty easy to hack into these webcams. And this is a very scary vulnerability because sometimes the stuff, handles industrial facilities that are really sensitive even for national security. So you may understand the implications from all this. Okay. I hope I give you food for thought. But anyway, that's all for today. Bye bye.